Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Aisha Khan and I'm from the SDSB Communications Department. Thank you for taking the time to attend the Graduate Counseling Session 2026. This session is about the MBA program at the business school. So we're going to start with a little presentation that will give you an overview of the MBA program. This will be followed by a Q&A session. Our admissions and financial aid team is also here. They will respond to your queries. The MBA program director, Dr. Moin Nasir Bhatt, will be joining shortly as well. And then you will have the chance to interact with him. So let's start. The Suleiman Daoud School of Business has 4 decades of impact and more than 7,000 alumni shaping organizations across Pakistan and beyond. Our focus has always been on relevance, rigor, societal impact, and leadership. Our vision and mission guide everything we do, from curriculum design to class discussions to industry engagement, ensuring that our graduates develop sound judgment, ethical leadership, and the ability to influence real-world decisions. So you can take a second to read our vision and mission, which is very important to us and is a part of everything that we do at the business school, be it our extracurricular activities or our curriculum or the events that take place at the school. This is a glimpse of some of our faculty. Our faculty bring global doctoral training and strong research credentials, and importantly, they translate theory into classroom discussions that reflect real business challenges. So in 2019, the Suleiman Daoud School of Business became Pakistan's first business school to achieve accreditation by AACSB International, placing it among the top 6% of business schools worldwide. In 2024, AACSB renewed SDSB's accreditation, reaffirming the high quality of its academic programs in line with global best practices in business education. Our executive MBA program is the only program from Pakistan in the QS Executive MBA rankings, Asia Pacific, and our MBA program is in the top 30 in the QS Asia MBA rankings. With one of the largest collections of local case studies in the region and a strong alumni base, the Business School at LUMS offers learning that is globally informed but deeply grounded in Pakistan's business context. So the cases and notes that our students study, and the MBA students go through at least 400 cases during the 2 years that they are in the program. A vast majority of them are contextualized in the local industry. We are also the only business school in Pakistan with a content partnership with Harvard Business Impact, which means that some cases written by our faculty, selected cases written by our faculty, are also distributed by the Harvard Online Catalog. The business school has more than 2,500 local and international recruitment partners, which our students access through a dedicated placement office. These recruitment relationships reflect SDSB's market credibility built by our graduates. And this is some information specific to the MBA graduates. So a glimpse of our placements for MBA 2025. Total number of students were 115, 112 have been placed. In the first 3 months after graduation, 60 students were placed. And you can see the average salary and higher salary information as well. Just overall, the business school has 2 full-time programs Overall, we have 7 graduate programs comprising a 2 year full time MBA program, a 2 year weekend executive MBA program, and 4 1.5 year weekend MS programs with specializations in financial management, healthcare management and innovation, supply chain and retail management, and technology management and entrepreneurship. We also offer a full time and fully funded PhD management program. So, the MBA is a full time, in person, 2 year program designed for early career professionals who want to accelerate their careers through case based experiential learning. It is not mandatory to have previous job experience to apply to the MBA program, but it is, of course, recommended. The business school MBA students have the opportunity to opt for a semester abroad to any of our exchange partner universities in France, Malaysia, Turkey, Japan, Canada, and Australia. These are the universities with whom we currently have a student exchange agreement. And this keeps on, increasing as well. The SDSB MBA stands out because learning is active and applied. It is how you learn, not just what you learn. So, through the case method and structured experiential projects, students build judgment and knowledge. Add to that global exposure and a strong alumni network, and the outcome we see consistently is faster career progression and greater confidence in leadership roles. Okay, so this is some information on the MBA program structure. Um, if you're interested to get an idea as to how the program is divided. The curriculum progresses from core foundations to electives and applied projects, ensuring both breadth in management fundamentals and depth in chosen interests. And when the program director, Dr. Moin, joins us, he can share more information on this. Okay, these are some important dates for admissions. Please make sure that the application is submitted by the deadline of April 14th. So the deadline will not be extended. You can upload the supporting documents by April 15th, so you have one day. But the application has to be submitted by April 14th. If you miss that, then you can't do that on April 15th. So remember that. And the deadline to take the test is April 26th. And the LUMS graduate admission test is scheduled for April 26th. And we can take questions on that shortly. So a little bit about the admission criteria, testing, and financial aid. So applicants are required to take any one of the following tests. You don't have to take all of them or more than one, just any one of this. And there is no preference from the school on which test you take. So they are all, equally positioned. That's LUMS graduate admission test, the NTS GAD general, and the GRE and the GMAT. Information on these tests is also available on the website of the MBA program, the application page. For the MBA, a cumulative score of 50 in GAT General is the minimum requirement for admission. That is one of the questions we frequently get from our prospective applicants. Okay, so the MBA admission criteria, as on the website, it is your academic record, it is your admission test performance, work experience is preferred, but not mandatory for the MBA program. 2 letters of recommendation, online application submission by the due date, online submission of supporting documents and fee payment, application review, and interview performance. We frequently get questions as to, which component is given more importance. So, uh, all prospective applicants, once the eligibility is met, once the eligible criteria is met, the applications are reviewed holistically by the admissions committee. So this is some information on the MBA financial support. 50% tuition waiver to the top talent among admitted students based on the university's merit evaluation. 50% tuition waiver to admitted students with a GMAT score of 700 or higher or an equivalent GRE general score. 50% tuition fee waiver for women admitted on high merit under the SDSB Women's Scholarship Initiative. And there is alums financial aid for local applicants, which means people applying from Pakistan through an interest-free loan. And there is the MCB student personal loan. This is just some information on the tuition fee waiver for women admitted on high merit. And of course, beyond academics, just a little glimpse of the vibrant campus life that supports personal growth, leadership, and lifelong networks at LUMS. So I'm going to all right, so we can now open it up for questions. If you have any questions related to admissions and financial aid, please, raise your hand and we'll get to it. Ji Malik, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Assalamu alaikum, ma'am. Assalamu alaikum,
Walaikum
sir.
salam.
Thank you. Yeah, so I have one question that if an applicant wants to apply with GAT score, so is there a overall score or is there percentile like a more primary part of their assessment? And secondly, what's the average score of GAT that most students have who get admission in lumps for either MBA or MS for either of these?
Sure. Ali, can you please respond to both of these questions? Ali Arshad is our representative from the admissions department and he will be able to respond.
Okay, Arsalan, 50 scores is the minimum requirement for NTS GAT General. And your second question is, its average score of NTS is around 76 for last year.
Okay, and does percentile matter also?
For application submission or a clearance point of view, we only need your scores.
All right, sir. Thank you. Okay. And this is for both MB and MS, right? The 76 average.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hafsa, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. All right, we'll wait for Hafsa. I think there was some echo in the background. Shoaib, can you please unmute
Yeah, can you
yourself?
please hear me now?
Okay, wait. Yes, Hafsa?
Yeah, so there's a particular scholarship for women. That's a women initiative, right? So I
Yes.
want to ask that we have to apply it right now, or we'll apply it like directly after the application form.
Sure. Ali, can you respond, please?
Okay, Hafsa, there is no need of applying for women's scholarship. If you got
Done.
admitted to the program,
Mhm.
top ranked females will automatically be shortlisted.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hafsa.
So welcome.
Shoaib, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
अस्सलाम आई वांट टू आस्क कि जो एमबी के अलावा दूसरे प्रोग्राम्स हैं उसका क्या क्राइटेरिया और प्रोसेस है और एक से ज़्यादा प्रोग्राम में अप्लाई करना तो उसके लिए अलग-अलग एप्लीकेशन सबमिट करनी और उनकी अलग-अलग फीस सबमिट करनी
जी, हर प्रोग्राम का थोड़ा सा डिफरेंट क्राइटेरिया है, तो वो आप वेबसाइट पे रेलेवेंट पेज पे जाएंगे तो आपको मिल जाएगा। इस प्रोग्राम में इस सेशन में हम प्राइमरीली एमबीए के लिए डिस्कस कर रहे हैं, लेकिन अली आपको गाइड कर देंगे कि इफ़ यू वांट टू अप्लाई इन मोर देन वन प्रोग्राम। जी अली।
अच्छा मंसूर, जहाँ तक एसडीएसपी ग्रेजुएट प्रोग्राम की बात है ना, तो क्राइटेरिया ऑलमोस्ट सिमिलर ही है। ठीक है। और मोर देन वन एप्लीकेशंस, कंसिडरिंग बिजनेस स्कूल अगर हम बात करते हैं, तो एमबीए के साथ आप कोई एक एमएस ले सकते हैं। दो एमएस आप विद इन वन सेशन आप अप्लाई नहीं कर सकते।
So Ali, his also question is also कि do they have to fill in two separate application forms?
जी जी बिल्कुल, ये
जी
दो सेपरेट एप्लीकेशन होंगी। एप्लीकेशन के हर एक सेक्शन में कॉपी की ऑप्शन अवेलेबल है। अगर एक एप्लीकेशन आपने कंप्लीट की है तो सेकंड के लिए सिर्फ आप कॉपी की कमांड यूज करके उसे कंप्लीट कर सकते हैं।
ठीक है शोएब, I hope that answered your question.
सॉरी, वन लिटिल क्वेश्चन। लेकिन उस मतलब अगर दो एप्लीकेशन है तो दोनों की फीस भी अलग अलग पे करनी पड़ेगी?
जी बिल्कुल। एप्लीकेशन प्रोसेसिंग फी दोनों की डिफरेंट होगी। टेस्ट फी अगर आप लम्स टेस्ट दे रहे हो तो वो सिमिलर ही होगी, वो वन टाइम होगी।
ठीक है,
ओके, गॉट इट, थैंक
thank you Shoaib. Abu Bakr, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, so I have just two quick questions. If someone can share the tips related to कि अगर हमने जो अपना application form है हम उसको strong करने के लिए to get the best you can say in the application form, can you share the tips related to that? और मेरा जो second question है कि जो 50% tuition waiver है, is it only on GMAT or the LGAT test? So kindly confirm that. Thank you so much.
जी अबू बकर, हम ऐसा करते हैं, जो आपका फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन है वो वी विल वेट फॉर द प्रोग्राम डायरेक्टर डॉक्टर मोइन नसीर बट टू ज्वाइन, देन आई विल रिक्वेस्ट हिम टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट। एंड जो सेकंड क्वेश्चन है अली, कैन आई रिक्वेस्ट यू टू रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट?
श्योर श्योर श्योर। अब वो क्या 50% ट्यूशन फी वेवर जो जीमैट अवार्ड की अगर आप बात कर रहे हैं तो वो सिर्फ जीमैट के लिए ही है। मतलब 700 और हायर जीमैट स्कोर्स, वो बाकी तीनों टेस्ट के लिए एप्लीकेबल नहीं है।
Thank you,
Okay,
Ali. I hope
understood.
that
Thank you.
answered your question. Thanks. Okay, Abu Bakr, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Ma'am,
My
Abu
question is
Bakr just
coming.
asked.
Oh, you're the one. Oh, I'm so sorry. Thanks. Mansoor, can you please unmute yourself? Mansoor Ahmed.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. My question is, since most of the students would be working professionals, so I would like to know a bit about the timings and all that in the MBA programs. Any choice of choosing the option? Some of the courses will be in the morning, some will be in the evening. So how is that divided to cater the working professionals?
Ji. Mansoor, I can respond to that. So the MBA program is a full-time 2-year program, and the classes are scheduled assuming that the students are not working. So it will not be possible to to attend classes if you are working, and there are no online options available. So if you have more than 6 years of work experience, then I would recommend that you apply to the executive MBA program. That is a weekend-based program, or you could consider one of the MS programs that we offer, because those are also weekend-based programs. So in that there is possibility for students to work and study at the same time, but not in the MBA. The class timings, I don't have the timings with me right now, but it is assumed that the students are not working. It is a full-time program.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
You're
Yes,
welcome.
I have a counter question if you allow me.
Yes, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, already running a software agency as a CEO, can they still apply
Right.
for your MBA even if they don't have 6 years of experience after their bachelor's degree?
Um, if you have been running your own organization for 6 years and more, that will count as experience. Um, Ali, can you correct me if I'm
Six
mistaken?
years, 6 years is the minimum requirement for executive MBA.
6 is the minimum, yes.
After your bachelor's degree, right?
So yeah, after completing your 16 years.
Okay, then I'm just confused. Like, as Miss actually mentioned, कि आपका जो simple MBA है वो उनके लिए जो कि full time available है, but already अगर कोई organization एक run कर रहे हैं या jobs कर रहे हैं तो उनके लिए फिर क्या आप लोग recommend करते हैं?
मैं थोड़ी सी क्लैरिटी दे देता हूँ इसमें। अगर आप ऑलरेडी एक फुल टाइम बिजनेस में हो और 6 इयर्स आपके पास एक्सपीरियंस है 6 इयर्स और मोर, तो आप एग्जेक्टिव ट्रैक में आ सकते हो, आप एमएस प्रोग्राम्स के लिए आ सकते हो। अगर आप एमबीए के लिए आना चाहते हो तो वो आप मेक श्योर कर लो कि आप जॉब कंटिन्यू नहीं कर सकते इन एनी केस।
Right, makes sense. But the main issue is कि bachelor's के वैसे 6 years का experience है, but bachelor's degree के बाद का नहीं है.
नहीं, वो बैचलर्स के बाद का होना चाहिए ना, वो फुल टाइम एक्सपीरियंस वही काउंट होगा।
Alright, makes sense. और आपके जो MSCS है उसकी टाइमिंग क्या होंगी?
एमएससीएस का प्रॉब्ली शायद सेपरेट सेशन हो, या आप एडमिशन एट क्लाम्स के लिए लिखते ना,
और
दे विल
उसकी भी
गेट यू।
टाइमलाइन सेम है 14 अप्रैल.
जी, टाइमलाइन सेम ही है, 14 अप्रैल एप्लीकेशन
Alright, thank you.
Thank you.
सबमिशन।
Hisham, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
The question I had was surrounded around the fact that the with my documents and the documents that are only relevant to the extracurricular section of the application. I worked for two NGOs before my undergraduate degree started. However, I could not get an experience letter for one of them. Given that I had actually worked for it, do you think I should be mentioning that in my application, even if I do not have the proof to support it, one of them? Or is it okay to mention them because I do not want it to become a big deal during the admissions process if I am shortlisted?
Okay, Hisham, what is the total duration of that job?
The NGO I worked for at that time, I lasted for around 2 months.
2 months. So it's sort of an internship. If you don't want to mention that, it's okay.
Like, can I term it as an informal internship then?
Yeah, you can.
All right, perfect. Thank you. That was all.
Thank you, Hisham.
Okay.
Afia, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. I had a
Waisam.
couple of questions. My first question was about the female scholarship and even the other 50% tuition waiver. Can you define what high merit is and what sort of students should be hopeful to get these two scholarships, the 50% waivers?
Ali, can you help with that? First of all, defining the
Sure,
high
sure, sure.
merit.
Afia, let's say we have 20 admitted applicants, 20 admitted female applicants, I must say, for 2026. So from these 20 applicants, some of them might score, let's say, 80 out of 100, or few might score 50 to 60 out of 100. So we will select those females who have the higher ranking. Can you understand my point?
Okay, got it. And then my follow-up question is that how many or what percentage of women in a particular batch usually get the waiver?
Uh, it's almost, I guess, 40 to 50%.
Almost 50%?
40 to 50%.
Oh, okay. Okay, ठीक है. I had another question about, you mentioned the average GAT score. I wanted to ask if there's also an average LGAT score that we can, kind of target.
Usually, we don't share LGAT scores with the applicants. They will be added to your profile directly.
Oh, okay, ठीक है. And also my third question is, in the personal statement portion in the application, we're also supposed to talk about our previous work experience in one of the questions. I have not been working for a while. I did have a solid work experience of like 8 to 10 months, and then I decided to quit and experiment with some other things. So I was wondering if I should talk about that particular work experience during that in that question.
Yes, you can.
Okay, okay, thank you. I also have a few questions about the program itself, but should I wait for the program director to join in then?
Yeah, you could, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Abdul Rahman, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम
Walaikum salam.
मेरा क्वेश्चन ये था कि इफ़ आई हैव अ गुड CGPA तो उस बेसिस पे मेरिट बेस्ड स्कॉलरशिप मिल सकती है इवन विद गुड स्कोर इन LGAT.
अब्दुलरमान, मेरिट स्कॉलरशिप सिर्फ सीजीपीए की बेस पर नहीं है, आपकी पूरी प्रोफाइल होलिस्टिकली व्यू होती है, जिसमें आपके एकेडमिक्स, एक्सपीरियंस टेस्ट, आपकी इंटरव्यू परफॉर्मेंस, सारी चीज़ें मैटर करती है, इवन आपके रिकमेंडेशन लेटर्स और पर्सनल स्टेटमेंट। तो सिर्फ सीजीपीए की बेस पे ये नहीं होती मेरिट स्कॉलरशिप, ये ओवरऑल आपकी पूरी प्रोफाइल पे होती
Dr. Moin has joined the session, the program director.
All right, thank you, Sharyar. So we'll take one more question from Aisha.
Hi, I just wanted to ask, are the letters of recommendation also due by 14th April? Because they are part of the online application. So do you give an extra few days to submit them?
है। Okay, 14th April is the application submission deadline and 15th April is for document submission. So you can arrange the documents till April 15th.
So you have one extra day to submit the other documents.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Okay, so Dr. Moin Nasir Bhatt, who is the program director of the MBA, has also joined. Assalamualaikum, Dr. Moin.
Assalamualaikum. Hi everyone. How are you doing? How is the session going on?
The session is going well. Thank you for your time. So we went through the presentation and we opened for the Q&A. Before we move on, there are a few questions which some students, prospective applicants asked, and I asked them to wait for you. One of them is, and we'll start with that.
Okay.
One student asked on how can tips on making a strong application in terms
Okay.
of the personal statement and all
Uh-huh.
that. So how can
Okay.
we make it
So
strong?
yeah, so I think for admission purposes, we look at multiple factors. One of them is, of course, your prior educational experience. Then why do you want to do MBA? That's you will include in your personal statement. And of course, I think we require recommendation letters as well, plus your previous experience. So everything is counted, not just one. So we take into account all those factors. And once you are selected in the initial round, I think the most important round is then the interview, right? So interview is the make and break there. But your first task right now is to complete your application and try to get through the first phase, right? And for that, I think everything matters, including your personal statement. So personal statement is basically is your story, and that is required by almost every good university or business school. So you will basically tell us about yourself, and then you tell us what did you achieve in your life so far, and how will MBA help you in achieving your goal. So the basic idea is why do you want to do MBA, and then why do you want to do MBA from lumps. So you need to have some convincing argument for that. But basically, there is no template for this. This is your own story, and you can write it in a number of different ways. But you should be convincing, So that is the key, and you should be coherent. That is, you should not be saying one. You should not be making one argument initially, and then completely deviate from it later on. So you need to be coherent. You need to be consistent, and you have to be a persuasive. So that's my tip on that. But usually there is no template for personal statement, so it's your own story. So you can write it in your own way. In fact, natural is a bit better. So if you're naturally saying something in a good flow, that is actually better. So that is my answer. So have I answered this question, Aisha?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Moin. Another question that some prospective applicants asked earlier would be that generally, what are the class timings of the MBA program?
Okay, so there is no class timing for MBA. So we try to finish the classes by the daytime, but some classes do take place in the evening as well. So that's why we say that our full-time MBA is a 24-hour commitment. And we don't recommend you to do job in between because the workload is heavy, I must say. It's a rigorous 2-year program. And I think all of you want to come to LUMS to get that experience, so because it's challenging and you want to transform yourself. And for that, LUMS experience will deliver that, promise to change you. For that, we have made the program very, very rigorous. So it's a 24-hour commitment. So the class timing can be early morning, it can be during the daytime. Most classes, they do take place during the daytime. But in some cases, like for some visiting faculty members or some other reasons, the class timings can be in the evening as well, right? So there is no particular schedule which we can give to you right now. So that's my answer to that.
Thank you, Dr. Moin.
Yeah.
Afia has raised her hand. Yes, Afia, I think you had some questions for the program director.
Yes, I just wanted to know that as someone who is a little conflicted between the corporate sector career and perhaps also has an inclination towards some sort of public sector or government sector career path, what kind of exposure or how can MBA help me perhaps figure that out? Or even if I'm not able to figure out immediately, I want to know how MBA will help me, especially if I want to also consider going into the public sector. For context, I did work in the corporate sector for a while. I had a very good experience, I would say, a very competitive experience. But then I thought I wanted to give CSS a shot. So I did that, took a break from my work. And now I think I see how MBA can help me kind of continue my corporate trajectory too, but I also want to keep the public sector path open for me. So A, how do you look at applicants who are coming with this sort of background? Is it discouraged to have this sort of conflict, or is it something that you encourage and you think that MBA can help me? How it can help me?
So we don't discourage it. We just need work experience. So even if you have a government or public sector work experience, it's counted as it is. And now, how will MBA help you out? So we do have some courses related to public sector as well. But I must say that wherever you go, even if you go to Harvard, they mostly prepare you for the corporate sector. So that's the purpose of the MBA program. But in our case, we do have some like public policy related courses and or some short courses which are related to the government sector as well. But most courses will be from the corporate side. And but in my opinion, in many cases, the strategies work both ways. Like the same strategies, like if we talk about marketing strategies, because I'm a marketing professor. So marketing strategies can be applied to the public sector as well, same as like the corporate or private sector, without any change. In fact, even if you are in the private sector, not all companies are the same. So you can't have one cookie cutter approach for every company. No. So you have to customize yourself, even if you go to, this in the corporate or private sector. So the same thing is with the public sector. So we give you all the strategies or experiences or courses related to marketing, finance, operations. Then you can customize it when you go in different companies or different sectors. You can customize them a bit according to your sector. But when we do interviews, when we screen your applications, we don't discourage the applicants with the public sector experience. So you have an equal standing, equal chances of being admitted to our MBA program.
Thank you, Dr. Moin.
Yeah.
Okay, Harun Zia, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
वालेकुम
जी सर, मेरे 2 से 3 सवाल हैं, मैं बारी बारी पूछता हूँ। इसमें से एक क्वेश्चन ये है कि द रिकमेंडेशंस लेटर्स emails will be sent online. I have my recommendations letters because I have been applying all over the world,
जी
and
जी
I have my recommendations in my hand. Can I submit them, or do I have to provide them again online? Second question ये
अच्छा
है कि
sorry
सर
I think I'll answer one by one. So you are saying you already have your recommendation letters with you,
yes
uh, so you can submit them or not. I think it's an application
yes
related question. So
जी जी Ali is
so who is
here.
from the admission? Ali, yes.
Ali
Ali, can you
Arshad
please
is
answer
there.
to that?
Ali, can you please respond?
Okay, you can provide the details of your evaluators and online application, and once you submit your application, we will email the recommendations to your referees. So hard copies are not required.
जी तो हार्ड
So
कॉपीज आर नॉट एक्सेप्टेड, तो आप अपने जो भी आपके रेफरीज हैं उनका ईमेल एड्रेस प्रोवाइड कर देंगे
sure
पोर्टल पे, एंड उनको ऑटोमेटिकली एक ईमेल जाएगा एंड देन दे विल हैव टू रिस्पॉन्ड, सेंड देयर रिकमेंडेशन ऑनलाइन.
सही सही
Harun,
and the
is it
second
possible? Is there any problem in that, or is it fine?
sir, it is fine, but I have to ask them again and request them
हाँ
again to fill the recommendations on time in timely manners. This
हाँ
is an extra hassle for me, but it's
हाँ
fine.
ठीक है. बट यू नो जहाँ भी अप्लाई करेंगे तो दिस इज द स्टैंडर्ड प्रैक्टिस नाउ. तो वो
Yes, it
ऐसे ही
is.
होता है हर जगह पे. या सो 99% केसेस में यू हैव द सेम थिंग कि यू हैव टू प्रोवाइड द ईमेल एड्रेस एंड कॉन्टैक्ट इन्फॉर्मेशन. तो उन्हीं को फिर सबमिट
Yes,
कराना होता है. यस.
yes. और
जी व्हाट्स योर सेकंड
दूसरा
क्वेश्चन?
sir, second question was about ADB scholarship. इसके लिए after admission, I have to show my interest, or do I have to submit the application with the admission application?
आई थिंक सैलीज क्वेश्चन अगेन.
जी
अच्छा,
जी
एडीबी फॉल 26 के लिए अवेलेबल नहीं होगा, एडीबी फॉल 27 के लिए अवेलेबल होगा। वो
Fall 20.
1 ईयर ऑफ इस तरह से चलते हैं।
जी
Sure.
ठीक है. थैंक यू हारून. ईमान
Thank you.
अरशद, कैन यू प्लीज अनम्यूट योरसेल्फ एंड आस्क योर क्वेश्चन?
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope I am audible.
यस.
यस.
Thank you, sir and ma'am, for the wonderful session. I've been listening. I was traveling before, so I couldn't get whatever you were saying. But my question is that can we give CAT and LCAT both as well? Because I want to increase my chances as much as I can. So is there like a possibility that I can give both? This reason being that I don't know if the test center that I will be allocated for LCAT would be in Lahore as I am in Islamabad. So I would prefer if I can apply for both. And second question is that I think sir mentioned that 50% is the average mark, but what is the like the preferred, or like if you can say preferred score we should have for GAT or LGAT?
जी अली, can you help with this?
So we have 4 options actually. You can take either GRE or GMAT or NTS GAT Journal or LGAT. We will consider your best course if you are planning to take both tests. Or second question was the average of GAT, I guess, NTS GAT Journal. Our
जी
last year's
Yeah, like
average
what is
for
the 50 is average, but like what would be the preferred to increase your chances? You would say that you should prepare for at least this number of scores, considering
on
the
average,
um, competition we
on
have.
average it's 75 to 80 scores for NTS GAT Journal.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Iman. All right. Sayyida Middat, can you please ask your question? Unmute yourself and ask your question.
Yeah, sure. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, ma'am.
वालेकुम सलाम.
So, my question is regarding the admission criteria. So, I did my bachelor's. Basically, it was 3 years honors degree and 1 year master's. So, overall, for the application, we require 16 years of education. So, I would be considering my latest degree as a bachelor's degree or a master's degree.
Okay, Ali, I think this is your question
You
again.
will mention your both degrees in online application, your bachelor's degree and master's degree as well.
Okay, and then there was a section where we need to mention our academic standing for the last degree. So it will be cumulative of both because the master was just for 1 year, yeah?
You will mention on the basis of your last degree.
That would be master's in my
Masters.
case.
Yeah.
All right. And my second question is regarding the LGAT. So, what would be the format or the scoring criteria? I mean, to understand the format of the exam, where can we find that information?
Okay, detailed LGAT pattern is available on our website. You can consult from there, or for preparation, you can use any GRE book.
Okay. All right. All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you.
Mohammed, I can't see the full name. Mohammed Danial. Mohammed Danial, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so my question was that so this LCAT exam, this is like what's the the format like of this exam? Is it can we prepare from like a GRE based book or like a GAT NTS GAT book for this exam? Like it's the same format.
You can consult GRE General.
GRE general. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Ali, I think we have uploaded some guidelines of the LGAT on our website, right?
Yes, test sample papers are also available on our website. A
Can
test
you
pattern
please
is
share
also
the
available.
link of that on the in
Sure,
the
sure,
chat,
sure. I'm
so that
mentioning it in the chat.
yes, please, so that people, because a lot of people have this question on LGAT, so that people can directly go to them. All right, Mohammed Daniel, are your questions finished?
Yeah, so my last and final question regarding this specific MBA program is that so for the executive MBA, we need minimum 6 years of experience after our bachelor's. So is there
Yes.
a similar requirement for this MBA as well?
For the MBA, it's recommended, but it's not a requirement. You can apply.
Yeah, because see, this MBA program requires us to fully dedicate ourselves to
Yes.
this program, and we cannot work during it. So this kind of free time is only available to full-time students who don't have any
Right.
other work to do.
Right. Right.
So I was hoping if like fresh graduates can also like apply one who
Fresh
have recently.
graduates can apply. Ali, fresh graduates can apply, right?
Yes, they can.
You can.
Okay.
Thank you. We have a question in the chat. Wait. Dr. Moeen, there's a question in the chat from Maham. Is the summer immersion program part of the 2-year MBA curriculum?
So that is pre-programmed. So you basically will prepare you for what's coming. So it's mandatory to attend, but its grades are not included in your 2-year program. So basically, what happens is in those 2 weeks, so we prepare you for the case study methodology, basics of statistics, marketing, operations. So the idea is to prepare you before the actual semester starts. So although summer immersion program is not a part of will not be a part of your transcript grades, but it's mandatory to attend it, right? Because without it, you won't have, you will not be fully prepared to start your MBA program.
Thank you. That makes sense. Another
Okay.
question is we have in the chat from Ruxana. Who should we prefer for our references? Colleagues, team leads, or someone else?
So I think Ali will answer to that question, but I think, for example, if you have some work experience, then you need to have one letter from your employer. So one letter from professor will also be fine to make the
Yes.
two. But is there any hard and fast rule, Ali, if you can help in that?
No, there is no hard and fast rule. Ideally,
Yeah,
it should
yeah,
be one from professional side or one from
yeah.
academia.
Yes. So preferably that should be
It
the
should
mix. Yeah.
not be a blood relation, definitely.
Yeah. So I think,
Thank you.
but if someone brings both from the employers, that should also be fine, right?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, that's okay.
Okay. Rao Maz Khalid, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Am I audible to you?
Yes.
All right, thank you so much for giving me the time. I just want to ask that I am applying for NAMS MBA since 2023, and out of 3 times I appeared in the interview 2 times. मतलब मैंने last year interview में face किया था and 2023 भी किया था, but मेरी selection नहीं हुई. I just want to ask about the tips or the things I need to prepare so that I can crack the interview as well.
So it
So
seems that
Aisha,
he
have you
got,
understood the question? Because I
yes, I
couldn't.
have.
Yeah.
So he was selected for the interview, shortlisted for
Hmm?
the interview twice,
Okay.
but was not able to move past the interview. So he's
Hmm.
asking again for some sort of,
Yeah. Okay. So interview is a very important stage, I think, and I don't know why you were not selected, but the main points which we look at when we interview candidates is one of the first thing comes to our mind is your communication skills. So how confident are you? And then based on the mix or the interviewers, the professors at that time, they ask different types of questions. For example, if you say that you are interested in marketing, then they may ask you some marketing related questions. They may also ask you some you know uh, some current business related questions or some general knowledge questions like what is the GDP of Pakistan, uh, what are the oil prices right now, because it's a hot topic. So we basically want to find out whether or figure out whether you are keeping abreast with latest happenings or not, right? Which is very important for a business student to keep abreast with, to keep updated with what's happening around you. So if you get an interview call again, so make sure you are confident. You If you are asked some questions, you answer them properly, and uh, and this is what we just want to see in the candidate, how confident and how persuasive a candidate is. So I don't know what's the reason for your because you have now experienced twice of the same thing. So I'm really hoping that if you get an opportunity this time, you will get through. You know, because you have a lot of experience already. But be confident and try to be updated, like what's happening around you. And if you say something like if you are interested in financial marketing, then you can expect that you will be asked questions related to those fields.
Okay,
So
thank you,
that's my
Ashwin.
answer to that. Yeah.
There is a question in the chat from Arij Ali. I was offered an admission into the MBA program last year, which I had
Mhm.
declined to strengthen my pre-MBA profile. I'm
Okay.
reapplying this year with more robust experience, and I would like
Mhm.
to know whether it affects my profile submission in any way.
No, no, absolutely not. So of course your application will be considered afresh, and
Right.
it's always relative, so the last time you were selected for an interview, this time it depends upon like how many people are applying and who is applying. So if you get through again, so you will get an interview call, and we are looking forward to then having you in the interview. uh, but because you declined last year, it will not hurt your application this year. That's my
Thank you.
answer. Hmm.
Also, Iman Arshad, there is a question in the chat. As of now, the portal has only asked for emails for recommendation letter people, and they will reach out to them. So when will we upload these letters? So Iman, these letters will not be uploaded by the prospective applicants. When you fill in the emails, the LUMS will send an auto email to your referees, and they will have to then submit the recommendation letters. You don't have to upload any recommendation letters. I hope that's fine. Ali, is that correct?
Yeah, as soon as she submitted the details and also submit her application. After application submission,
Okay.
within 24 hours, the evaluators will receive the.
So your referees will receive an email from LUMS after your application is submitted. Remember that. Ariba Sharia, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question? Ariba?
Assalamu alaikum. How are you?
Walaikum
Walaikum
salam.
salam.
Fine, thanks.
So I just wanted to ask that if someone hasn't taken any of the required tests yet, how can they realistically meet the 26th deadline for scores? And which test would you recommend in this short time so the results can be submitted on time? First. Second, my question is I also wanted to ask about the experience requirement. If an applicant doesn't have extensive formal job experience but has around 1 year of business experience along with some internships, would that still be considered sufficient for a competitive application or not? Thank you.
Okay, so Ali, can you please answer the test related question?
Okay, you can go for LGAT. which is LUMS graduate admission test, and LUMS will conduct this test on April 26th. So if you are planning to take LGAT, you can do so in your online application.
Ali, one thing to mention that I am a resident of Karachi,
Mhm.
so I have to be there for
There,
the test, right?
yeah, there will be three cities. We will conduct the test in Lahore,
Okay.
Karachi, and Islamabad.
Okay, thank you, Ali.
No
अली ये
problem.
थोड़ी सी ये भी क्लैरिटी बता देंगे कि एलगैट के टेस्ट के लिए सेपरेट रजिस्ट्रेशन बिकॉज वी गेट अ लॉट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम प्रोस्पेक्टिव एप्लीकेंट्स हाउ डू आई रजिस्टर फॉर एलगैट so can you guide them on how they will register for LGAT that it's through the application form?
मिस आशा सिंपली ऑनलाइन एप्लीकेशन जब अकाउंट क्रिएट करते हैं एप्लीकेंट्स और टेस्ट सेक्शन में आते हैं वहां पे सिंपली इन्होंने टेस्ट डेट में अपनी सिटी को सिलेक्ट करना है दैट्स इट
Okay.
इससे
All
ज्यादा
right.
टेस्ट रजिस्ट्रेशन में और कुछ भी नहीं
ठीक है, thank you.
And I think Ariba has another question as well. She's asked. She actually has 1 year of business experience and then some internships. So these are also totally fine. So you can mention that in your application.
Sir, actually, I just started working on my business. My sister is a designer, so she is the CEO. So the recommendation letter from her would be fine.
Um, I think Ali said that it should not be from the blood relation or something.
yes it should not be from the blood relation or any senior person of that organization can furnish the
Yes.
letter for you.
Okay.
Thank you, Ariba.
Thank you.
Right. Hisham, please unmute yourself and ask your question.
Uh, I just got confused with this in the middle of the conversation guys were having, which was about my work experience was
Mhm.
roughly around 3 months. Worked in Faisal Bank, and it also was a post that was not a starting post. But given that like I was on the post of OG3, but I
Mhm.
only stayed there for around 3 months because I
Mhm.
realized that I wanted to pursue my MBA before I made a whole commitment to an organization or any sort of field I chose to dive into. Given that I only had a work experience for 3 months, will my recommendation letter from from my employer or my branch manager, you can say, still count?
So it was it an internship or it was a full-time job?
No, it was a full-time job, sir.
Mhm.
I was given a letter of joining as well.
Mhm.
Along with that, I have the whole salary slip, etc., whatever
Okay. So
that comes.
that's fine. No issue. So but if even if you have worked for 3 months, the letter will still count. So I don't think there is any issue. If I'm not mistaken, Ali, can you please confirm that?
Yes, there is no issue. The line
Yeah.
manager can furnish the letter for them.
Yeah.
I just had one more question.
Yeah, please.
This is also related to the recommendation letter part of it. I decided to include one instructor that I studied with in my A levels. Would
Mhm.
that also be fine? Because I personally felt like he would be a good representation of my progress and my performance during that time. Hence why I chose him. So I hope the fact that he's my instructor from A levels doesn't ruin anything or change anything with the process, application process.
So Ali, are we flexible on that, or do you need the letter from the previous degree only? So or
We are flexible. There is no
uh,
issue in it.
yeah.
Yes, because like I do have instructors from my university as well. I just decided to include one from my A levels because I thought he would like I was
Yeah,
much more closer to him.
Yeah. So
In
Hisham, it will be fine. No
it will be
issues.
right.
fine. Thank you,
Yeah.
Hisham. Um,
I hope. Can I ask one last question before I
we
leave?
have
I'm
Okay,
so
go
five or
ahead.
sorry.
six, five or six people
So
waiting as
go
well.
ahead. Quick question. Go ahead,
Uh,
Hisham.
I'll end it quickly. The informal internship I mentioned on my CV, when I got in touch with Askari Bank, they told me they would not be able to provide a letter of experience to me for that informal internship because it was completely voluntary. So I decided to take that off my LUMS application. So, was that the right thing to do, or do I have the option to add it without having a letter of experience from that said organization?
Okay,
Yeah, Ali,
if you
go.
don't have if you don't have the experience letter, you might have something that you can provide us in the application. It might be a contract or it might be some recommendation letters from the employer.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Isham. Acha, a quick question, Ali. I got this in my direct chat that if someone has their own business and they don't have a direct supervisor, they are working in their own business. So, in that situation, who would be the most appropriate person to provide a recommendation letter from an organizational perspective? Because they are saying that they own and manage their own organization.
Mhm. Any senior person in that organization can submit the letter on their behalf.
All right. So anyone in their who works for them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, because he's the owner. I got it. I hope this answers your question. This question was from Essen. All right, Ahmed, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
जी अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
Welcome,
Well,
Sam.
मैम मेरा ये क्वेश्चन था कि मैं ये पूछना चाहता था कि एलगेट टेस्ट लाहौर में होगा और कहाँ पे होगा ये?
जी अली।
लाहौर मोस्ट प्रोबेबली लंच में ही होगा।
ठीक है, बस मेरा यही क्वेश्चन था। थैंक यू।
Thank you, Ahmed. Hafsa bint Hamid, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Okay, so I want to ask. Sorry, wait.
Yeah, I think you. Okay. Abdullah Kasi, can you please?
Can you hear me?
Hafsa, I think she is talking again.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, Hafsa.
So I got particular experience in HR, but I want to apply in supply chain. So is it like fine?
What do you mean by that? Is it MBA? Are you Are you
No,
talking
no.
about MS?
Yeah, MS supply chain.
Okay, okay. Hafsa, this is a webinar for MBA. So
Hmm.
I'm going to, can you, you'll have to connect with us separately. So send us your query to sdsb@lums.edu.pk or admissions@lums.edu.pk. Sharyar, can you please share these email IDs in the chat?
Sure.
And we'll get back to you with this, since this is a webinar for MBA. Thank you. Um, I'm just okay. Hifza Alam, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Actually, my question is regarding the financial assistance that the need-based scholarship that LUMS would be providing to the students. Like, when do we need to apply for that? After we secure an admission into LUMS MBA program, or like right at the time when we are applying for
Yeah,
admission?
I
And
understand.
also, does that like need-based amount cover the hostel accommodation charges for students who are not living in Lahore?
Right. Ali, can you help with this question?
Okay, Hafsa, as soon as you start completing the biographical section of online application, you only need to give the consent that you want to apply for a lumps financial assistance. Once you submit your application, pay the application processing fee, then a new portal with a revised deadline of financial aid that will be 30 days almost for the financial aid application. You have the 30 days to complete your financial aid application. If you got admitted to the program, your first voucher will cover the financial aid amount if you lumps grant you the financial aid.
Okay, thank you,
Okay.
sir.
And our question was that does the financial aid cover accommodation, Ali?
Hostel, yeah.
No, 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 it won't cover accommodation.
It does not cover hostel. Thank you,
Okay,
Hifza.
thank you, ma'am.
Hamad, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Thank you so much. So my question is related to the curriculum. Is the curriculum focused towards finance, people who are aspiring to join or go towards investment banking, asset management? So does LUMS offer concentrations pertaining to that, you, pertaining to that um, uh, focus?
Okay. So Hamad, we have 2-year program, and basically our program is a general business program. So the first year is about core courses in which you'll be studying courses related to finance, accounting, marketing, operations, everything. So the first year you'll cover all disciplines. The second year is about elective courses. So in the second year you can choose if you're more interested in finance and accounting, then in the second year you can choose more elective courses related to finance and accounting then, right? So the first year you have to study everything, and that's what most MBA programs do. So you first have to go through all the general core core courses, and in the second year you can have a choice to select more elective courses as per your inclination towards marketing, finance, or accounting, or operation, etc. Okay. So does it answer your question?
Yes. You have a follow-up question to that, and that would be that
Yeah.
does LUMS have, the career center? I've read about it. So,
Yes.
since Pakistan does not have the big banks like Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan
Mhm.
Chase, and as such, so I've seen there are a couple of LUMS alumni who have landed into such banks.
Yes.
Does the career center help you gain access, internships, or secure employments in such banks, particularly in the Middle East?
Yeah, you have do provide this assistance. So we have a very strong placement office as well as the career office, which will help you connect with them. Of course, then once you are connecting with them, then it's up to you how you perform in the interviews and in the selection process. So we also help you prepare for that as well. But our career office and placement office, they do facilitate you in that. Aisha, do you have more to say about it?
No, I think you've covered it quite well.
Okay.
That's fine.
Okay,
Thank you,
thank you.
Hamad.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Hamad. Thank you.
So, Dr. Moin, I did have to ask you, we are currently out of time, but if you like, we can take the questions of, we
Yeah,
have
yeah,
five
we
more
can take the
questions.
questions.
All
Yeah,
right,
yeah, we can take the questions. No
great.
issues.
Abdullah Kasi, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Assalamu alaikum, ma'am, and
Salam.
thank you so much for this wonderful session. I just wanted to ask something related to the personal statement. Like we have three questions over there in the personal statement column in the application tab. So in each question, how much do we have to write? What is the word limit? Like there are three separate questions and there is no defined word limit for any question.
So
Like
Ali,
if I,
do we still have Ali here?
Yeah. That there is no word limit.
Yes.
As
Yeah.
जितना आप उसको बेस्ट एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, वो 2
हाँ.
लाइंस में भी हो सकता है, वो 50 लाइंस में भी हो सकता है. मिनिमम मैसेज कोई रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं.
and what is the recommended?
Abdullah, I won't say two
Yes.
lines. I think 2 lines will be too short. So
Yes,
it should be
exactly.
it should be a reasonable length, So we're not asking you to write 50 pages. So it
Okay,
should be a
okay.
reasonable length. लेकिन 2 लाइनें नहीं, 2 लाइन से ज़्यादा ही हो. So because the idea is how
Inshallah.
well you can explain yourself, describe yourself.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So
And
there should be a
second, sir,
balance. बहुत
and
lengthy भी नहीं, बहुत short भी नहीं, तो middle way. Yeah.
Chala, thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Abdullah. Also, for all of us, my colleague Sharyar has shared dates of other counseling sessions that we will be having. So you can review that in the chat and join us and follow our social media channels. And so you'll stay updated with these events and get the links as well. Zainab, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yes, Assalamu alaikum. I just
Walaikum.
wanted a very quick question that what are the components of the LGAT? Like English, basic
English, maths.
mathematics, reasoning,
Yeah.
and what percentage weight does each component carry? And is there any negative marking?
Ali, can you respond to that?
Sure. No, there is no negative marking. You will receive the instructions before the test or once you receive your test statement. So you can use any latest version of GRE for preparation.
Yeah. So basically it's maths and English, So
For the LGAT, right? Maths and English. No
Yeah.
logical reasoning questions involved.
Sorry?
No logical reasoning questions involved, only maths and English? For the
So that
LGAT, I'm taking.
It's verbal, quantitative, and analytical reasoning. There are
yeah.
three aspects.
Okay. Okay. And since I know this webinar is about the MBA, but I had a very small question related to something else that I am also planning to apply for the MS Technology and Entrepreneurship program. So are the test requirements the same for that program as well? Like यही pattern
Yes, the
होगा
test,
test?
Gigi, the test requirements are you have to you can choose any one of the tests. They are the same. And the MSTME webinar is planned for tomorrow at 3:30. So
Okay,
you can
okay.
come and join there. Thank you, Zainab. Mir Salman, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Ji, thank you very much. Ji, Assalamu alaikum, everyone.
Morning, Sam.
So my question is about since I'm a working professional, so and I'm not living in a city like Lahore, I'm operating slightly from a remote location where the work sites are. So for the people like us who has who generally would be commuting to Lahore every alternate weekend to attend the classes, so what really can be the quantum of engagement in terms of man-hours, if I may ask? So obviously we would have to manage the travels accordingly, and there'll be certain engagements during the working weeks as well. So just wanted to understand the kind of uh, idea of how could be the nature of engagement and potentially hours of man-hours that would be the right gateway for that.
So Mir साहब ये 24-hour engagement है. So I don't think you can work along with full-time MBA. But can I ask you how much experience do you have?
I have 11 years of experience now.
Acha. So the one option for you is that we have executive MBA program as well. So executive MBA program classes take place on the weekend, and that is for working professionals. So if you want to continue working and you have 11 years of experience as well, so I can suggest one route that is executive MBA. So you can keep working and you can take classes on the weekend. For full-time MBA, this is a full-time engagement. So I don't think you can work alongside study.
My apologies. Basically, I was asking it for the reference of executive MBA only.
Yes,
I
sir.
think I've
Okay.
mistakenly logged into
Ji.
MBA. So my apologies for that, but I think I have
That's
adequately got the answer to the question. I think there's another webinar planned for EMBA,
yes.
probably on
Yes,
4th.
yes, yes.
I'll be following my question there.
Sure.
So
Sure.
apologies for putting this
No issues, no issues.
non-relevant question here. Thank you.
No
Sure.
issues. Thank
Amir
you for
Salman
joining
Saab,
us.
the executive MBA webinar is on the 3rd of April, 5 to 6 p.m.
Got it.
So,
Thank you.
thanks. Afia, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Just a quick application process related questions. First of all, is the number of referees required strictly two, or can more than two recommendation letters be submitted? And how is the deadline for the recommendation letters decided? I know that it's they are sent out after submit the application, but what is their deadline to submit the recommendation letters?
Yes, Ali, can you respond to
Okay,
that, please?
your referees will have almost 10 days to complete the recommendation letter. Even after they submit their application right, if you are submitting your application right now or on the last date, you must have 10 days to complete the recommendation letter. Minimum requirement is two. It can be more than two.
Okay, got it. Also, is CV mandatory for an MBA application? And if it is, how much more detailed does it have to be than a regular resume? Because at this stage, I'm not sure if my CV can be a lot more elaborative than my resume is.
CV is not a mandatory requirement. It's quite expensive. Our application is quite expensive. All the details will be covered there. So if you don't upload your CV, it's okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you. Sayyida Middat, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. So I have two quick questions on application. Firstly, following on the recommendation letters, do they need to be both of them from most recent organization, or can we include these letters from any of the organization we have worked so far? Is there a preference for the latest one?
No, there is no preference. The one person who can best explain or write about yourself, it can be your referee, but it should not be a blood relation.
Okay, and also I worked in a consultancy and I was placed on a client in Saudi for 2 years. So can I get a letter from my client side?
Yes, you can.
Okay, all right. And earlier, Ali, you said that if based on the timeline that we have left now, you would recommend taking LGAT, right? But if we haven't taken any
Mhm.
test, of course. So if we take GMAT and submit our score as soon as we receive the official report, that might take 2 weeks or more. Would that be okay? Like we take the
Yes,
test before 26, I mean.
it's fine. It's fine.
We can submit the report later on, yeah?
Yes, yes, yes. It will take, I guess, 2 weeks in score reporting. So if you are
Okay,
planning to take on April 26th, it will take another 2 weeks, but it's okay for us.
okay, all right. Perfect.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Arij Ali, can you please unmute yourself and ask your question?
Hello, thank you, Aisha. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Dr. Ween, I had a question I previously asked in the chat about my admission last year.
Mhm.
So my question is, I wanted to take this year to strengthen my profile, and I did that because I wanted to get more robust experience, so permanent experience in a role that I was looking forward to. So I delayed my MBA journey because of that. Now, I had some questions regarding the recruitment support and internship support that the MBA program offers at LUMS. Uh, is it self-directed, or is it supported by the faculty or the career services? And how does recruitment in general work before graduation? And what
Hmm.
are some key factors that the team looks into?
Yeah, so we have a dedicated placement office that facilitate our graduating students. For example, the students who are graduating in June this year. So the placement office is already working with them for networking nights and their interviews, etc. So you will get complete help from our side. And I think Aisha also presented some information in the beginning of
Yes.
this session. I think I just talk about the last year. All our last year graduates were placed after 6 months, within 6 months of their graduation. Uh, and Aisha also shared the information of their, I think, average salary or something like that. So
Yes.
you will get complete help from our placement office. Of course, it's the onus is on you as well, like how well you perform in the interviews and the different recruitment processes. But we'll definitely try our best to connect you with the best companies possible and to get you the best possible place in the market.
Uh, Great, thank you. That's all I needed to know. The one last question was, does it affect my profile in any negative way? Because I'll be very honest,
So
because I
did you
had to
decline
delay
last
the
year?
last. Yeah, does it affect my profile in any way?
No, no, not at all.
Yeah. Okay, all right. Thank you. That's it.
So we're looking forward to having you this time.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for taking the time. We have a few other webinars coming up for the MS in Technology Management and Entrepreneurship for the Executive MBA program. We also have an admissions-centric webinar in which Ali and his team will be available for more admissions-related questions, and that is scheduled for 31st March. And you will get emails from us on that on our WhatsApp group. You will get emails, and it will also be on our social media channels. So you can rejoin that webinar also if you still have questions. Thank you, Dr. Moeen, for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, Aisha.
And
Thank you, Ali.
thank you, Ali and
Thank
Sheriar,
you.
Here
for
as well.
facilitating this session. Thank you, everyone, and good luck. And do remember to get your applications in on the by the deadline, April
Okay,
14th.
ji.
Thank you
Okay,
so
ji. Bye
much.
bye.
Allah
Huda
Hafiz.
Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.
Hafiz.